Hi, my name is Monica Hendricks. Last year, 1/11/11, January 11th of 2011, I went for my annual mammogram. It progressed into an ultrasound, which then progressed into a biopsy. Later that night, because you have to wait a couple of days for the results, I went home and I was praying and talking to Jesus. And I said, Lord, you don't have me go through surgeries for no reason. And they gave me a needle in my bubby. So he said to me, yes, Monica, they're going to find something, but you're not going to die. And I went, okay, all right, well, they're going to find something. I'm not going to die. That's all I needed to hear was the word from Jesus. The next day I went to the doctor, and the woman said to me, yes, Monica, you have something, but you're not going to die. The exact same words that little voice said to me before. I knew it was Jesus at that point. I said, okay, what do we have to do? Tell me what we got to do. Let's do it. I knew I just need to get with it. Going through chemo and radiation. First, let me say this. I had the bilateral mastectomy, and I thought as a child of Christ, because I was a child of Christ before I was diagnosed, I thought that was all I was going to have to do, because God said, yes, you're going to go through something and you're not going to die. So I thought if I gave up the bubbies, that's where the tumor was, I was going to be healed. No. A couple of days later, the doctor called me and said, Monica, 4 out of the 7 lymph nodes had cancer. You have to do chemo and radiation. I had to go back and talk to my Lord. I was like, Lord, what happened? He said, I didn't tell you you weren't going to have to go through the fire. You're going to go through the fire, but I'm going to be with you. And you're going to be fine. And you're going to be healed. And he even said, I have something for you to do after that. And he poo-pooed it. I felt like he was laughing, like, get up with it, because I got stuff for you to do. I ain't got time for this. Get on with it. It was that kind of a response. And I was like, wow. So I said, okay, I'm going to be healed. I decided that if I was going to lose my hair, that I was going to be bald. I was going to encourage other women who were losing their hair and grieving the loss of their hair through this cancer journey. And I went bald the whole time. My church was very encouraging. I was bald in the front of the church the whole time I was going through it. And I just wanted people to know that even in spite of the challenges of the chemo and the radiation and all the side effects, that even with that, God lifts you above the abyss of side effects. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen to you. And I think I had like 20 of them. But it could be so much worse. I'm very thankful that even through those things, he carried me through them. I had 3 additional surgeries through the whole year because I attempted to replace Thelma and Louise, the first set of twins, with a new set, which were implants, because I was trying to still keep some feminine identity that I had become accustomed to for 50 years. And the implants failed 3 times. And I kept saying, Lord, what happened? And God goes, I didn't tell you to get them things. You know, sometimes we have to pray about things before we get them. I think, for me, God lifted my spiritual growth up. I hear his voice, and I'm so thankful that from the time that he told me I was healed, before I started the chemo and everything, I'm able to hear his voice now through the whole journey, through all the surgeries, going to the 3rd time, you know, knowing the people in the pre-op room by name, going, I know this is just part of the journey. I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for being able to hear that little voice and be able to know that that's Jesus. So that the steps that I already know are ordered in my path as a child of Christ, my steps are already ordered and done. I'm just walking into those footprints. I know that when I'm going the wrong way, he goes, take that left, don't go there. I know and hear his voice. I'm so thankful for that, because that transcends from the beginning of the journey to the middle of the journey to the aftermath, me going into his destiny for me. Being able to hear him and identify his voice and being able to obey it as best I can in my skin of imperfections, because we all live in a skin of imperfections. But with that, I still can say, I know his voice when I hear it. And I know the situation when he's telling me go left and the situation says go right, I know it's him. And I'm thankful that because of the journey, I'm able to do that now where I wasn't really clear on that before. I used to be like, is that God? How do I know? What do I do? Now, I know it's him. Now I know it's him. Was that the reason for my journey? I don't know. But has that happened? I am acutely aware of his voice. Yes, I am. So now I am reconstructed in my Jesus. And I'm grateful to him. I'm grateful to him for me being able to hear his voice, for me being healed 100%. And I want to say to everyone else, the journeys that you go through, whatever they are, God is right there with you. We have to be thankful that he has already ordered our steps, and we just have to walk into them. And I'm telling you, it is a real thing. It is a real thing. I'm just very grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful that I have another shot at life. I'm 50 years old, and I get to have another 50. And I thank God for that.